All right, I'm here with my man, John Petraglia. I said it right. You
Yes.
good? Uh, he is a fractional CFO, also known as an outsourced CFO. You've done a lot of really spectacular things. I could go on and on about some of the stuff you've accomplished in your career, but um, I wanted to talk today about business operations and how they're changing. um, Being in the finance side, you're going to have really great perspective for companies out there that are probably feeling very concerned, stressed, and curious about what they should be doing. And I want to try and continue to bring people on that can add value to companies that might be watching this, get them perspective. Really, the first thing I want to ask for someone in your position and your expertise is, if you're a company right now that is experiencing a negative impact, and let's say it's a direct-to-consumer brand, or not. I mean, it doesn't have to be. That's just a little bit more my world. If you'd like to answer more generally, that's fine. What's the first thing that you would be doing right now to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to continue to make money and move forward?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I mean, right now with these uncertain times, really starting to take a look at your operations, really stepping back and figuring out, what's essential to continue on to be a going concern, and what is something that ultimately, you can do without, at least for the short term. A lot of those are hard decisions. A lot of those are, layoffs. Sometimes they're, cutting some of the expenses that were probably essential at some point, but now you can probably do without them. Those are things that really start thinking about, and also start taking a look at some of the opportunities out there that are available. The SBA disaster loan is something to take a look out. Take a look there. But yeah, ultimately, just really take a look to see what's essential, what's not.
So if a company is out there and let's say they've got a lot of inventory, and I mean, do you have an initial thoughts on good strategies for them? I mean, should they be? I don't think this is going away anytime soon. I think this is just
Mhm.
starting. I mean, we're just starting to feel the impacts from some of our clients that are actually doing their numbers and realizing, oh wow, this is not good. And as job reports come out, things are not going to be getting better quickly. So I'm curious, just from a perspective of a business owner or financially speaking, I mean, if you've got a lot of inventory, do you want to speak to what you think people should be analyzing there? I mean, should be trying to get rid of it or waiting for it to quote unquote snap back?
Yeah. Yeah. Another good question. One of the things you really need to take a look at before you start figuring out what to do with your inventory is really looking at the market, right? What is your product something that in this down economy is going to be marketable? Like, can you sell that? I mean, and
Mhm.
what's the demand out there for it? And if you have some demand for it, then you need to start taking a look at, okay, your supply chain channels. Are those impacted right now? If this swings back, how do we gain our inventory without a hiccup? And then on the flip side, if it's not something that is marketable at this time, you really need to start taking a look at discounting inventory, figuring out how to eliminate a lot of that inventory, so that you can at least have some cash for it. It's not just sitting there as dead weight.
Yeah, liquidity is going to be a really big deal right now. Obviously lightening the load on employees and lowering your expense load is going to help make sure that you stay in business. I know a lot of companies out there are pivoting and, or at least exploring the idea of pivoting, maybe offering a service that they haven't typically offered, or like you said, discounting, which they maybe don't typically do. It's just uncertain times, and, trying to figure out what to do to continue to make money for a lot of people might be pretty concerning. Do you think that, I mean, from your perspective, are there moves that people should be exploring right now, like that maybe they would be against, for example, like venture capital or debt financing, stuff like that? Should they, or is this a bad time to be looking at those options?
Well, let's talk about debt financing first. Debt financing, it's great if you can get it. I mean, if you can get that now,
Sure.
it's great. I've been talking to a number of banks where, at the moment, things are changing hour by hour. So their underwriters are not writing any new deals that are risky, or they're very careful about who to lend to and making sure that their business is not hugely impacted by this. And that's hard to find right now. On
Sure.
the VC side, and private equity side, obviously, that's another avenue that if you do have some interest, or you had some interest in the past, that is something to definitely revisit. If you can find that, that'd be great. But ultimately, it's what are people comfortable investing in right now? Banks and private investors are really tiptoeing through this thing and figuring out what's going to happen. That's kind of where I think that should happen.
Okay. I guess I was curious about valuations too. Like, are companies, do you think, going to be devalued here, and it's not a great time to take venture money because you won't be able to keep as much of your equity, or, whatever it might be? Or is it a bad time to sell for a consumer good brand, do you think? And,
Yeah, again, all depends on who you are and what your product is. If it's booming right now, if it's something that you can sell out, there's a market for it. Obviously, your valuation is probably going to show that, right? And on the flip side, it wouldn't if you're hugely impacted by this crisis that we're in. So, but ultimately, you have to also take everything into account to figure out, okay, what is it going to take to continue on, for my business to continue on? Do I need to take on some venture debt and lose some equity? I mean, maybe it may be worth it, Debt financing, again, if you can get it right now, I mean, interest rates are low, but finding that bank that's going to lend to you is going to be a little bit of a challenge right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Great insights. Thank you for your thoughts on the financial aspects of the business operations. What would you, if people out there are thinking like you might be a good person to reach out to, what kind of clients are you ideally trying to talk to so people can identify with you and reach out if it feels appropriate for them?
Yeah, right now, we're pretty industry agnostic, for first and foremost. Anyone that really sees the value of a CFO but just can't afford a full-time CFO, and we do pretty much from soup to nuts on the accounting side too. So would love to talk to anyone that needs help. We're partnering also with another firm, Peter O'Sullivan, on the analytics side. So we're trying to help any business right now to kind of bridge that gap right now.
Awesome. Where can people find you?
So Save Us Solutions is our firm. And you can go to our website, www.saveusolutions.com. And my email's on there, our CEO's
Sweet.
emails. So you guys can reach us anytime.
Excellent. I'll link you out on LinkedIn as well when I post this. But thanks for your time today, John. And good luck. Stay healthy out there.
All right. Thanks, Bobby. Good talking.
Bye, brother. Talk to you soon.